So, hello everyone. Today we have not the final, but the one that ends and wraps up the offline part of TESOL-Ukraine Training Series on creative writing and on tips from professional writers. And today here, we're having a great team of professionals, Nataliia Pyliachyk, Irina Malashivska, and Olga Bilik, who represent Pre-Carpathian University and who are here today to share with us how they work with the students on images. So the floor is yours, ladies, please.
Thank you, Marina, for introducing us. Good evening, dear colleagues. We are honored today to host the workshop on the topic Enhancing Language Teaching with Real Images that will be presented together with my colleagues, Irina Malashivska and Olga Bilik. So let's start. Irina, the next slide, please. So why we use real photos in language learning? So it's quite obvious because language learning is increasingly interconnected with art. And in our case, it is the art of photography, which serves as a tool for enhancing language skills of 21st century students and storytelling in particular. So we all know the English saying, art speaks a universal language. So photos speak a universal language as well. So using real photo context in English teaching provides our students with authentic material. So real photos can create emotional engagement and authenticity. And so with the help of photos, we can encourage any storytelling. Then we can expand or enrich the vocabulary of our students and focus on cultural appreciation. So, moreover, today we would like to highlight the resilience and history of Ukraine through iconic images. And by the way, you can see two photos. The first photo of a dance. These photos are real because they are taken by us or our colleagues or our relatives. And so in this picture, you can see Olha in the first row. She's dancing there. And the second photo, so unfortunately, it is not the photo where we are in, but still it is taken by our relatives. That's why we will try to present the photos which are really very near and dear to our personal photos. Okay, so we need to be very careful in choosing photos so as not to hurt people's feelings, you see. And that's why choosing the right photo is extremely important. So there are different suitable photo genres, and the first one, we think that it is portrait, or they are portraits. Portraits for character descriptions. So we know that for our students, it's not difficult to discuss or to describe something, but when we speak about emotions or our faces or the appearance of people, in fact, I know that from my practice, my students cannot do a thing with that. And very often we see photos that gain popularity on the internet and they become very memorable due to their profound meaning. But still, yet we have no idea who the author of such masterpieces is. And so these silent images always tell us entire stories filled with life's emotions. And that's why we provide such photos which can speak to our students and they hide some kind of story. For example, you can see the photo of Yevhen Malolietka. By the way, have you ever heard of him? Yes or no?
Yes.
Of course. Yevhen Malolietka is a Ukrainian photojournalist who became a laureate of the most prestigious journalism award, the Pulitzer Prize. And so he received the award in the public service category for his work in Mariupol. So in March, Yevhen captured the aftermath of the Russian military's attack on Mariupol City Hospital number 3, including the maternity ward and its patients. So the next photo looks a little bit weird and strange. So this is the legendary photo. It is called "The Old Hutu Woman with a Pipe," which gained worldwide fame or popularity, and it was taken in 1926 by Mykola Sinkowski, a documentary photographer from Poltava region. So you see the heroine of this iconic image is Maria Pyliachyk. She was nicknamed Chukutycha, and she was a very famous Hutu singer and performer of traditional songs. According to local historians, you see Maria was extremely intelligent. She was charismatic and talented, and she was also a striking fashionista, and she liked wearing decorative accessories and flowers, but her greatest gift was her voice. And you see, in the western part of Ukraine, we always say like this: "So you are singing like Chukutycha." So because she sang extremely well, and that's why you can see that she was very fashionable. So you can judge it by her ring, and then till the end of her day. So at the age of 90, she still permed her hair with the help of a hot nail. Yeah, by the way, this documentary photographer owned a studio in Colombia, but before that he worked in Paris. And today, this famous photo of Chukutycha is hung on one of the buildings of the city and in one of the museums. And so this is the icon of Hutu heritage. So by showing such pictures to our students, we may ask them just to compare lifeless images. So you see the 19th century and the 21st century pictures or portraits. And so we start from the very beginning, we start asking students to describe their hair and then their emotions, their eyes, the weathered face of Maria, etc. And now we guess that these photos are really good for storytelling because they provide the students with the ability to narrate a rich cultural and personal story. And I guess that these photos speaks of wisdom and resilience of Ukraine. So thank you. The next slide, Irina, please. The next photo genre is landscape. We consider landscapes to be difficult for describing, but easy for watching. These two pictures were taken by Olha when she had a rest in Kosmach, so it is in the Carpathian Mountains. And here you may ask your students use narratives, use narrative settings for storytelling. In fact, you see it is extremely difficult for students. They love the pictures, but in fact, it's difficult for them to say something or to describe them. In most cases, we ask our students to find their own photos. You see, it is always easier to speak about something that is very near and dear to you, but then about other things which are a little bit not yours, they are strange, right? And so by providing landscapes, students can describe what they see or what they experience in their life. The next one, please. Then we love this action shots for dynamic storytelling. We love this photo genre because again, you see these photos are real. The first photo again is from Olha's dance club, and the next one you see two women and a small boy. And so what is dynamic storytelling? Because when we show such pictures to our students, they always ask, what is dynamic storytelling? They understand what it is, but in fact, they cannot explain. They cannot give a definition. So this is a narrative technique that captures motion, different emotions, and
microphone, sorry. Yeah. Microphone.
Sorry. Such photos emphasize vivid details and actions and a sense of immediacy. The next slide I would like you to pay attention to. So these are two examples of dynamic storytelling. So the first picture was dedicated to folk dance on stage. And so I provided three sentences, or I always do it. I provide three sentences to my students. And when they read the sentences, I ask them to continue the story, or maybe I give them only one sentence. And then I ask them, can you have a look at the picture and try to finish up the story? And so we might start doing this task or this activity with level B1 and then up to C1. We can expand the sentences by providing students with the list of nouns, adjectives, verbs, etc. And if we take into consideration the first sentence, the stage comes alive, and so they can add any adjective, as the dancers twirl in vibrant embroidered costumes. So do you understand what's vibrant? And then they try to find the synonyms and expand the sentences. Then the second example of the photo which you saw was the marathon for fallen soldiers. So the picture was taken by my relative. So the photo captured two women, so me and my niece, and a young boy, her son, and our determination was evident in our focused expression. So the photo of the boy's dad was pinned to our shirts, and we silently honored the soldiers we run for. Again, here you see that the picture itself or the photo itself is not in action, but we try to ask our students, we encourage our students just to think, to be fiction mongers, just to give them the story ending, expected or unexpected. So thank you. The next one, please. So we will provide the list of activities using real images. The first one, they are some writing prompts. You may ask your students, describe scenes or transformations over time, and imagine that there were summer holidays and you have the first class with your university students. And so it's not quite good to ask them, so how did you spend your summer holidays? It sounds boring a little bit. And so you may ask them to find the photo, for example, describing their leisure time or leisure time. And then they find three photos, and you cannot even imagine with what determination and motivation they try to explain what they were doing, the best photos. Then you should focus on vocabulary building. You ask the students to focus on different adjectives, on verbs and cultural terminology. And what is extremely important, story sequencing. Sometimes we can ask the students to provide different photos in one row, and then the other student, who is the desk mate or the classmate, they can make a story in correct sequences. So my students love that kind of activity, and I highly recommend everybody to try it. So I guess that's it for my part, and so the turn goes to Olha Bilik. Olha, can you?
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you for your speech. So, dear guests, as you understand from Natalia's speech, using real-life images is a powerful way to create engaging and authentic learning experiences. However, to maximize their impact, it is equally important to understand the stories behind these images and the photographers who captured them. Photographers bring their unique perspective, cultural backgrounds, and personal narratives to their work. And this can provide deeper insight into the context and meaning of the photos they create. Learning about photographers helps students move beyond simply analyzing what is in the image to exploring why it was captured the way it was. This not only develops critical thinking, but also encourages empathy by connecting students with different experiences and different viewpoints. Let's think of the photo, for example, of a soldier among rebels, or a toy or a boy having a toy, and you can understand that such photos can evoke different emotions, and describing them can foster critical thinking. And now I would like to speak a little bit about different Ukrainian photographers. And first, I want to introduce is Serhiy Goryachok. He's a famous photographer from Ivano-Frankivsk, and it should be mentioned that one of his favorite aspects of work is photo art therapy. For many years, he has been helping people understand their strengths, their feelings, and focus on the positive with the help of photos, namely with portraits. And in the slide, you can see several portraits taken by or made by Serhiy Goryachok. Serhiy says that photo art therapy is one of the ways to get to know yourself better through photography. And in his classes, he helps people discover and understand their strengths, which allows them to become more relaxed and confident. Usually, a photo shoot is a kind of intimate procedure. And as Serhiy says, it's difficult, especially if you have some other complexes and self-doubts, to open your heart. And Serhiy helps to change the fear of being photographed into love. And one of his recent projects is called Emotional Photo Art Therapy for Wives of Fallen Soldiers. So this project is especially important today as it provides emotional support to women who have experienced immense loss and helps them find strength and healing through art. So how did this work? Serhiy invited several wives of fallen soldiers, and he spent about 2 hours with each of them. And this photo shoot lasted for more than 2 hours, and it consisted of 3 stages. During the first stage, Serhiy let the wife or a woman open her heart. Yes, and usually her feelings were about sorrow, about loss, and you can see in the first picture that the woman looks very depressed. Yes, the second stage was a little bit how to say, opening, yes? Through conversation, Serhiy helped those women open their hearts. Yes, they started smiling, and he tried to capture the moment when they started smiling. And as you can see in the second picture, the woman is smiling a little bit. So it's like transition from the first stage to the second stage. And in the last stage, during the last stage, the women were feeling quite happy as it is possible, yes, for them. They were communicating with each other. They were laughing, not only smiling, but laughing. And this set of photographs represents this transition, yes, from the very sad moments to the moments in which you can feel better. And in this lies this sense of photo art therapy. And knowing this, how can we use this as English teachers in our classes? Yeah. So in English class, you can start by introducing Serhiy and his recent project, and to give students context. Show one of his portraits and ask students to describe what they see, focusing on the emotions and story behind the image. You can discuss how knowing Serhiy's purpose and the person's background adds meaning to the photo. And to deepen engagement, students can role play or write reflections, imagining that they are either the photographer or the person in the photo. You can, or you can even ask your students to write a letter to this woman, to this or that woman in the photo. And another photographer I'd like to talk about is Serhiy Korovayny. He's a Ukrainian photographer and visual storyteller. He's a graduate of the visual storytelling program and a Fulbright scholar, by the way. He shoots for different newspapers, Reporters, Radio Liberty, Ukrainian, Financial Times, among them. And one of the projects made by Sergei is called Returning from the Looking Glass. So what was it about? Sergei went to the front lines during the war, and he took pictures of soldiers' eyes, only eyes. Yes, he explained this with the following words. For 8 years, the country has been scarred by trenches. News reports cut through us with harsh truth, staring pain and longing for what we've lost, sometimes forever. While we cling to fragile peace, rethinking what grounds us, they, the soldiers, they stand firm in real trenches on the front lines of Donetsk and Luhansk. And you can come up with the activity called Eyes Tell a Story with the help of this set of photographs. So in this activity, students are shown a photo of a soldier with only their eyes visible and asked to imagine the soldier's story based only on their expression. Students can consider the emotions conveyed by the eyes, such as fear, determination, sorrow, or hope, and reflect on what the soldier might have experienced recently or be thinking in the moment. Using these observations, students write a short narrative from the soldier's perspective, starting with prompts like, for example, "Through these eyes, I have seen," and they continue the sentence, or "Today, my thoughts are about." This activity encourages creative writing, of course, and descriptive language practice and empathy building. Next slide, please. Yes. Some time ago, the Modern Museum Complex Warden Memorial hosted an exhibition of photographs called Ukraine, Photographs from the Front Lines, dedicated to the largest war in the center of Europe, that is in Ukraine. Its author is a war correspondent, Anastasia Taylor-Lind, who has been photographing events in Ukraine since the Revolution of Dignity and the beginning of the Russian invasion in 2014. Her images show both civilians in eastern Ukraine and the soldiers on the front lines. Anastasia Taylor-Lind's photographs and her background as a war correspondent provide rich material for storytelling in English classes. After analyzing several photographs, students could be asked to write a story from the perspective of both a civilian and a soldier who encounter each other during the conflict. This could involve imagining their interactions, emotions, even conversations, and thoughts about the war. For example, a soldier in the front lines might reflect on the harsh realities of the war, while a civilian could express their fear and uncertainty of life in a conflict zone. Students could start their stories with prompts like, "I never thought I would be here in this moment," or "The world around me has changed in ways I cannot comprehend." So, next slide, please. Now, we will summarize this part of the presentation with several tips how to use photos and photographers in English class. First of all, you can have such type of activity as discussion. You can show your students powerful photos that reflect national identity, like those by Anastasia Taylor-Lind, and ask them to find clues in the images that represent culture, traditions, and social issues. Or you can have debate on truth versus creativity. During this debate, students discuss whether photojournalists should focus on showing the truth or if they can be creative in how they show national identity. Or have role play as photojournalists. Let students pretend to be photojournalists presenting their work. They can explain the story behind their photos and answer questions from classmates. This encourages them to think about the decisions and challenges that photographers face when capturing national identity. Or writing activities. Ask your students to write letters to people in the photos, imagining what the characters might be feeling or thinking. And how to choose real photos, not fake photos, Irena Malachivska will tell you.
Well, thank you, Olha. Thank you, my dear colleagues, my girls. Well, thank you for the invitation, Marina. You know, it's great to understand that against all odds, we are all here. So girls, my colleagues spoke about real photos, yes, the way they can reflect our reality. But it's not that simple, because in our digital world, yes, we cannot avoid the fact that it's not only about photos that are real. We are surrounded by fakes, we are surrounded by doctored photos. Sometimes we are aware of that, sometimes we are not. And actually, I guess all of you are familiar with this phrase, seeing is believing. So I can say that we can kind of transform it and say seeing is not always believing, because very often we face situations when we are in two minds. We don't know whether we can trust the photo or not. So actually, this phenomena is called photography. You see such a difficult spelling, but actually the meaning is very simple. When we speak about photography, that's the combination of two words, fake plus photography. So this is a photo that has been altered in an image editing program. There are a lot of them for political or commercial reasons. There may be other reasons, yes, but these two are considered to be the most influential ones, the most important. And such fake photos, they refer to manipulated images which are made to look real. And now I will show you a few examples. Some of them are, you know, they are everywhere. So let's have a look at these two pictures. So in the first one, you see the Pope who is giving speech, and the crowd, the square is full of people. I guess it's obvious, yes, that the number of people, well, has been modified with the help of AI. It was clear, yes, but if you look at the second picture, you may be surprised to find out that, well, it wasn't just last month, let's say. This picture went viral, actually the first one where you see the cyclist, went viral on Twitter maybe 2 years ago, yes, and it was made, it was created on purpose, and the author of the this picture, he said that he wanted to show how easily people get tricked. So first he posted this photo with the cyclist, and this photo was shared more than 1,000 times. And it people commented on the photo, and then he shared the second one. So these photos, they are harmless, actually. Yes, they were created for entertainment, and there is no this, you know, painful hidden message behind them. But unfortunately, there are other kinds of photos. For example, like this. I guess you came across these photos on your Facebook or Instagram, whatever. And those who support creating such images, they say that they are created in order to influence our perception positively. So like in the first case, yes, that let's say being in an army, it's not a disaster, yes, that people are happy there, everything is fine. So, and in the second picture, you see this poor mama cat, yes, she is holding her baby. Well, of course, it's AI generated. It's clear that it's AI generated, but it's not about that. It's about evoking this particular type of feelings. It works like a hook. And of course, you may say that, well, it's obvious. People are very, people are familiar with such tricks. People will never fall for that. But I might disappoint you. You're not right. You're wrong in this case. Because just yesterday, I showed these pictures to my students. All of them said, oh, well, Irena Vasilyevna, these pictures are were generated by AI. Sure, that they were generated by AI. And then one of my students said, well, my mom wrote in a Facebook that it was a fake. So she kind of interacted with the picture. and that is like red flag. You should never interact with these pictures. You should just ignore them, because with them you attract other fake photos and they distort your vision. Okay, so what are the dangers? Yes, some dangers, they lie on the surface. It's clear. So fake photos, they spread lies. And lies, when it's just one single lie, you can avoid it. But if there are too many lies, you feel yourself that you're like drowning. Yes, you don't know where you can catch this breath of fresh air, which is truth. Then these photos, they are created to influence opinions. Unfortunately, because we lack time, and this part of our presentation, it can take like hours with examples and so on and so forth. So if you take, let's say, a presidential campaign in the United States, not only this one, but also previous ones. So there are a lot of fake images that were constructed in order to influence people's opinion, and people fall for that. Ruining reputation. This is very popular. When there's even no need to create a picture, yes, to fake it. All you need is just to add a single detail or blur the single detail, and it's enough. Then, of course, creating distrust, dividing communities, causing fear or confusion when there is no need, yes, when there isn't that, when there is no real reason for that fear or confusion. And in my opinion, what is the most dangerous, such fake photos, they undermine trust in media. So people tend nowadays not to believe in what they read, yes, in newspapers. And when there are these fake photos, yes, attached to some articles, just to exemplify, yes, the story, to support the story probably. So they undermine trust in media. Okay, now how can you incorporate all that into your English classroom? Yes, how can you bring that? How can you work with that? It's not that difficult, actually. First of all, you need to provide your students with a particular list of vocabulary, of course, how to talk about these fake photos. Actually, this list was AI generated. I asked AI to help me, and he or she or it, the way you call it, I call him he. And a friend of mine, she said that it's she. Why should it be he? Okay, nevertheless. So he provided me with this list of adjectives, phrasal verbs, and nouns that one can use when you want your students to talk about these fake images. You can prolong the list, it's up to you. But you can incorporate this material into any topic that you are teaching. For example, you are working with minors, with small kids, and you are having topic animals, or you are talking about housing, or you are talking about transport, whatever, medicine. Of course, you provide your students with that relevant vocabulary, the vocabulary on the topic, yes? So why not present your students with pictures, one modified, and ask your students to describe those pictures or conduct any other related task on the pictures, like the ones that my colleagues told you about, plus they can use this vocabulary. Actually, it's like killing two birds with one stone. I honestly did that when we worked on professions, and it worked. My students love that. And now let's see how good you are at spotting the fake image. Some of them are obvious. Yes, it would be very easy, yes, to see it. So either use a chat box or just say it, yes, which image is fake, the first one or the second, and maybe tell us what made you think so. Yes, what was this slight detail that attracted your attention? Well, I cannot follow the chat box. Please, if you write, colleagues, just don't be shy, okay? It's easy. Oh, Inessa is here. Inessa, which image is fake? How do you think? Okay, so let's have a look at the chat box. So B. Yes, that's right. You are totally right. B image is fake. And if you look at the eyes of this poor dog, you see that they are kind of blurred. Yes, they look unreal. Yes. Okay, that was easy. Now, how about this? Which one is fake? This is a bit more difficult and a bit more tricky, I would say.
Personally,
Okay.
I didn't guess, yes.
Okay, sure. CC. Okay, maybe. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your participation. You know what? All of them are real. All of them. People who wrote that C is fake, I know why you did that, because it was taken on iPhone, and some, some details were, how do we call that? They were not added, but it was a bit artistically modified, but it's not fake. Photoshop, yes, thank you. It was a bit Photoshop, but still the image is real. Actually, if the image is photoshopped, it can inspire another discussion. Should we do that? Shouldn't we do that? But again, it's another topic and it can take hours. Nevertheless, this one, I guess, also easy. Also easy because improve my eye. Yes, Ines. Okay, thank you. Yes, B. Okay, B. Sure, B. Easy. And the last one, actually, these very images I used when we had, when I had this class on housing. And I asked my students to describe these two houses. And when we talked, what image is fake and why do they think so, etc., etc. Well, no. A is real, B is fake. So as you see, this simple exercise, it's fun, isn't it? This simple exercise exemplifies how easily we can be tricked, yes? That we cannot trust our eyes for 100%. And nowadays, you need to double check everything that you see, unless you see it in your own eyes, like in flash, yes? Okay, so here are some tips how to spot this fake image. Some of them may be like obvious, yes? Look closely at the details. Look closely at the details. You can see these blurred lines, yes? You can see that a person may have, 5 fingers, etc. Then lightning and shadows. Actually, this part is often ignored. People just don't pay attention to the lightning and shadows because you can see the figure of the person, but that person doesn't have a shadow. So it's clear that it's fake. Then maybe some repetitive patterns, like the same clothes or the same earrings. Like if there are several women, all of them wear the same earrings. Then faces. Faces can tell us a lot, yes. Especially if the face is too perfect, yes, flawless face. So it should avoid, you should be suspicious about that. Then the background, of course, maybe some watermarks or signs of editing, but I guess for this one, you should be a bit professional in it. Then here, using this reverse image search is very helpful. You know about this Google engine, Google image search. It's very easy to use, but I love this one. This is Tiny Eye or TinEye. Yes, it's very easy also. You can upload the image or just paste this URL, and then you will be able to see. Oh, sorry, I cannot close it. I opened it, but cannot close. Okay, but it takes time, sometimes you just don't want to bother yourself with searching for the image. So if you don't want to bother, yes, but you see that there is something fishy about it, All you need to do is look at the context. So you need to know who posted the photo. You need to read the article, not just the headline. And if you look at the context, this context may tell you a lot, yes, because in the context there could be those keys, yes, key details that would prove that the image isn't really the real one. And now this is actually my favorite part, because I'm going to show you the tools that we are actually using with our students, part-time students, because our part-time students, they study online, so it's perfect for online. How to work with these fake photos, you know, these tools are great icebreakers. When you don't know how to start the class, you know, when you are you don't know the group, or you just want to have a little distraction. So the first one is these profs. Okay, so here you just start like this, yes? And all your students need to do is just to choose whether the image is fake or not, yes? There are 49 pictures, and it takes up to 5-7 minutes, yes, to do that. Well, it's clear that the image is fake, yes, and they love that. When they see this dog, they are eager to share what they think about these kind of pictures. Then the next one is bamboozle. Bamboozle is better for more advanced students. Because here it's not that obvious, yes, you just need to click on the picture, and so this is fake, yes, it's fake. This one is fake, yes, it's impossible to do like this. But if you click, for example, this one, yes, so this is real. It was a staged photo, and as far as I remember, this photo was presented in some photo context. Okay, then there is this tool, you know, that you yourself can create different AI images, and there are a lot of tools. I love this one. Flux. Well, of course you need to register, yes, but it's free, and you can give prompts. Why do I love this one? Because you give prompts and it tries to follow your prompts as precisely as possible. Every detail is mentioned there. I mean, depicted on the picture, in the picture. So it's cool. Students love to play with it. They kind of create their own projects, yes? Or I even had one student who wrote a poem, and she wanted to create this visualization for her poem. It was perfect. And the last one, my the love of my life, yes. Maybe you know that it's free, it's everywhere. So this is Google app, Arts and Culture. So please tell me, who is familiar with that? Maybe you use that in your teaching. No, believe me, no, guys, if you try that, you will definitely love it. So it's like, it's mind-opening, it's cutting edge, it's groundbreaking. When I first saw that, I fell in love, literally, I fell in love. And what can you find there? Well, it's everything about art. It's everything about photography, because photography is also art. You can find different styles. You can find different museums. You can have these virtual tours there. And here, when we have arts, like topic art with my students, I will show you what we do. One moment. It was here. See. So let's try. Marina, what is your favorite color? Choose from the ones that you see.
You ask me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Green. It's green. I
love.
Green.
Okay, so let's pick green. So we pick green, and what do we see? we see all these pictures, yes, all these pieces of art in which green predominates. So I ask my students to choose a color, and then they are supposed to choose a picture and provide the information about that picture. Because if you click on the picture, well, let's take Van Gogh. If you click on it, you immediately will be given this information. The information is in Ukrainian, yes, but I ask them to translate it into English. Okay, so here are the reference, and actually that is all what I wanted to share with you, yes, for now, because we have some minutes. So thank you for listening. This topic is, close to us because we live in this visual world, and for us Ukrainians, visuals are even more important nowadays than it was a few years ago. And if you look at this, different photo context, if you follow, I don't know, Booker Prize, if you know about gaming, the recent Stalker 2, maybe you heard about that, yes? That's the great achievement, yes, of our culture, of our visual culture. And of course, 100 Days in Mariupol. So that's a masterpiece without words, There's no need to even to speak a lot about it. So again, thank you all, and thank you, my dear colleagues, for letting me here sharing with you. And we have the last slide. Nataliia.
Well, thank you, colleagues, for listening. So I guess that everybody is waiting for kind of feedback. Well, I would like you just to think of one adjective. So what kind of feeling do you have right now? Please choose any cat to your liking. How do you feel? I don't think that you feel like cat number 7 or cat 7. And we will do it in the way chatful. Do you know what is chatful? I will count up to 3. And when I say 3, your task will be just to press the button and to send the word you choose. The best adjective you can describe our lecture by. So 1, 2, 3, chatful. Please send the word, please.
We love compliments.
By the way. Okay. Inspiring, amazing, colorful, interesting, encouraging. Thank you. So cat number 9. Okay.
Yes.
You want to drink some kind of whiskey, but not because it was very tedious. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. So to conclude, I would like to say that we need to be very careful in choosing photos for our English classes so as not to hurt somebody's feelings. You see that we tried, it was one of the lectures we have in our bag. And you see, I hope that maybe those people who will come to Kyiv, so you will have the possibility to try some activities, practical activities with us. And we always try to use creativity in our classes, in English classes. Unfortunately, you may ask yourself or even me, why such photos? Why war context? Because unfortunately, this is our reality and we must speak about it. When we want the world to hear about us, to know about us, and to support us Ukrainians, so we should speak about ourselves, about our resilience, that we are still alive, that we are strong, and we are simply the best. Okay, so thank you. Glory to Ukraine.
Glory to the heroes.
Glory to the heroes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for having us. So, Marina, I guess that now the floor is yours as the host of this.
Thank you, ladies. That was amazing. I can't say that was surprisingly amazing. That was predictably amazing. And again, we'll have the second part of it for those who are coming to Kyiv So our today's presenters have prepared a lot of practical activities, as that was a theoretical part. And you can also ask your questions if you have them. You can ask them now or leave them for Kiev.